Well. Here we are once again for part two of the Beau DeMayo versus Marvel drama. So if you were here last time, just to kind of catch you up, I have a whole video on this as well. So if you need to go back and check it out, um, Beau DeMayo had been fired from by Marvel. He was the showrunner and creator of X-Men 97. And before the show even came out, they fired him, right? And we all was kind of like, what happened? What's the deal? It was all these rumors and speculation that maybe it had to do with the fact that he had OnlyFans, even though supposedly it was non-explicit. I wouldn't know. Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire series for X-Men 97, Beau DeMayo been out there tweeting and sharing his thoughts and posting things all day, every day, right? Now, listen, um, it is no secret that Beau DeMayo is obviously a black man, and he's also an openly gay black man. Apparently, he is also allergic to wearing shirts. So if you go on his, timeline, yeah, you might get some stuff about, X-Men 97, but you probably gonna get some other stuff that I don't know. Maybe you're looking for that, maybe you're not. I don't know. But a lot of this started to escalate when Beau DeMayo came out and said that he was trying to get, he was trying to go to the Emmys because X-Men 97 got nominated. It did get nominated for an Emmy. He was somebody had asked him, like, yo, are you going to the Emmys? And he was like, man, I was trying to get a seat, but Marvel ain't hit a boy up, it ain't happening. And then he found out that Marvel actually stripped his credit for season 2. Now, keep in mind, Beau DeMayo did write season 1 and season 2 for X-Men 97. And apparently, Marvel had enough. They had enough of Beau. They had enough of what was going on with him. And even though Marvel had been quiet, they had not talked about why he got fired or anything like that. Beau DeMayo put it out there. He put that business out there and was like, yo, not only am I not going to be able to go to the Emmys for a show I created, but Marvel is taking my credit away basically for the work that I did. Now, here's the other, caveat to this. We know that Marvel also hired a new writer to start doing season 3. So it's possible, and this is my guess, that they probably have the guy that they got now to do season 3. They probably have him rewriting season 2. So and here's the thing, Marvel can do that. This is not a new thing to have a writer write something and then for them to, because Marvel owns the IP. If Marvel wants to get a new writer to change things up, they literally do that all the time. So I don't know, and I'm not an entertainment lawyer, so don't quote me on this. I don't know how much of a leg Beau DeMayo has to stand on if Marvel does have another writer redo their work. Then if they put out something, because X-Men season 2 has not come out yet, if they put something out that's different, that's not your work, then technically I think they can strip your name away from it. I think if they give us something completely different. Anyway, because Beau called Marvel out, because he put their business out in the streets, Marvel was like, you know what? We're not playing no more. And they released the statement and they said Beau DeMayo basically got fired for egregious behavior. They said that Beau DeMayo, after they did a whole, investigation, that his behavior was just terrible. And then, of course, the news outlets started to get in on this, and we heard different rumors that some of this egregious behavior involved sexual misconduct. It involved abusive and emotional, problems. Um, and one of the rumors suggested that Beau was out here sending out allegedly inappropriate images of himself to other staffers. So Beau recently came out and said, you know what? I got something for y'all. he went on his Twitter, on his social media. Now, he did say that he was going to take a break, which, if we're being honest, bro, you should have been taking a break. You should have been just sitting back, chilling. I know you got fired. I know this your baby, but you kept poking that bear too. You know, you kept, like, every other day. It was like you was saying something. But he went on hiatus for a couple days, and then he came back and he was like, "Listen, I'm gonna let y'all know my side of the story, and I'm gonna let you know what happened, like what really happened." He sat here and posted, and I'm just gonna paraphrase this here, obviously. And it said here that Beau DeMayo says that he's revealing the whole truth about his Marvel situation on his OnlyFans account. And this is where he said this is the only place you're going to hear the whole truth. First of all, let me just say, bruh. Now, I'm just going to say, I'm not going on your OnlyFans to get some news. Not going to do that. Now, I understand. He got to make some money, right? I mean, he's probably blacklisted, probably not really getting a lot of work. I'm not knocking the hustle, but I'm just saying, bro, you had some other options. I'm sure you could have opened up a YouTube page. I'm sure you could have, done like a members only type of thing. There's a lot of different options. Matter of fact, even Twitter gives you the option to have, I want to say, like, subscribers only type of feed. You had options. You gonna bring it back to the OnlyFans, bro? The thing that actually had people kind of sus about you in the first place. But here's the other thing, because this is actually what happened. Even someone like myself, who I cover this news, I talk about it, it's in the entertainment world, I get it. I don't care how much you call. I don't care. It could be $2. I'm not paying that to go get this news. And the moment you drop this news, the moment you drop this video, the moment you drop whatever it is, somebody else is going to cover it. One of these bigger outlets are going to take whatever your video said, and they're going to take the news, and whatever you thought you were selling, they just going to talk about it. And that's exactly what happened. Because Variety got on it. Variety got it. Deadline got it. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, bro, how much money did you actually make? I mean, I hope he made a good amount. I hope he did. But I'm just saying, like, people can bootleg immediately. People can write news about it and steal whatever shine you thought you was going to get away from whatever your OnlyFans was going to give you. So let's go through the non-OnlyFans news about what Beau actually had to say, because apparently my man had to dish out some things. Now, it does say here that a source talked to Variety, and they did confirm that it was Marvel let him go over sexual misconduct, and that DeMayo's credits were stripped because he violated the terms of his termination agreement. What does that mean? Basically, when he got fired from Marvel, and I'm just assuming this, they probably was like, yo, chill out. Stop talking about this show. Stop. Because the more you talk about this show, it's going to make people think that you still on this show, and you not. We broke up. Stop telling people we go together. We don't go together no more. Okay? Stop telling people about the good times we had. Stop telling them about the dates we used to go on. We broke up. But Bo was like, nah, man, nah. Remember that time Gambit did his thing? Y'all remember when Madeline showed up? Like, my man was not giving up. My man was not letting it go. So he got fired. Like, they was like, yo, we told you to chill, but you didn't want to chill. So anyway, goes on and says here that DeMayo said this. These allegations are egregious misconduct The allegations of egregious misconduct are false. He calls them lies. He said here that they are offensive, but more concerning is that they're a smear campaign designed to discredit my credibility in order to cover up egregious prejudicial um, uh, misconduct stretching from select crew members on X-Men 97 all the way to the top of Marvel Studios. Wait a minute, Kevin, they talking about you? The top of Marvel Studios is Kevin Feige. Is this going all the way up to the top? Yikes. Now, he alleged that he experienced and witnessed misconduct while working on X-Men 97. He said, as a showrunner, and during his stint as a screenwriter as he was working on Blade. Don't forget, he did work on Blade, even though that fell through. Now, DeMayo says that the breaches in his exit agreement were posts that he made about X-Men 97. It had to do with posting the fan art. He spoke at a screening of the show, and he was highlighting different cast and crew and explaining how the massacre at the LGBT nightclub post 2016 was the inspiration about what happened with the mutants in Genosha. So once again, all that time, and here's the thing, I loved it. I love that he was giving us this insight and all this background information, but every single time this man was talking about X-Men 97, he was violating the terms and agreements, probably of his NDA, of his termination. So Marvel was like, all right, we found some dirt. We're firing you for this dirt. But whatever this is, we're not going to talk about it as long as you be quiet. But Beau was like, nah, man, this is my baby. I'm going to talk about my baby. Okay. I made this. I'm going to talk about it. It is what it is. So Beau made a choice. Beau made a choice to keep talking about this. Now, as a fan, I'm here for it. But hey, now he also alleged that Disney blacklisted him from third-party non-Disney Comic-Con panels and blocked him from attending the Emmys next week. I mean, listen, I understand how difficult it is to be blocked from something that you created and that you worked on. But you also got fired. I mean, maybe they don't want you associated because keep in mind, it's still their property. It's still their IP. I totally agree. Beau DeMayo, that is your baby. You created it. You worked on it. But it's almost like, and again, I'm not an entertainment lawyer, but it's almost like you were a contractor. Marvel Studios, Marvel, they own this property called X-Men. They hired you to come in and write something. You did a good job, but it still belongs to them. They own the rights. Like they are getting all the child support here. They have custody. They got full custody. Right? Like y'all had a joint agreement, but you kept showing up at the door when it wasn't your time or your day. You kept violating the terms of y'all agreement, allegedly. Okay, I don't know all the details. I'm just saying, if it's not your day to show up, I don't think you're supposed to show up. I don't think that's allowed. So yes, Marvel, Disney, they're going to tell you not to go to things related to the property that they own. I get that. Now, DeMayo also outlined several specific allegations of misconduct against Marvel. Now, I'm going to just give you a heads up. There are a lot of different things here that he alleges. Some of these things don't have anything to do with Marvel, the entity, the brand, the company. Some of them are against like certain artists, whatever. I'm not going to go over those because I don't think that those are, I think those are kind of separate. I'm going more so about what he was talking about with the executives, people in charge. I'm going to go over more of those instead. So DeMayo alleged that his identity as a gay black man was weaponized by Marvel to undermine him. Basically, they would use, things like, oh, he's a big black man, he's intimidating, he's opinionated. Okay, so they were throwing around stereotypical things. He alleges that he fought Marvel executives over his desire to adapt storylines from previously established X-Men comic book runs rather than create brand new stories for the show. And Marvel called him uncollaborative, too difficult, and too much of a fanboy. They openly resented me for fighting for the fans. Ah, uh, Beau, I don't know if I can rock with you on this one, bro. I'm a comic fan. Okay, I respect when things are adapted from the comics, but I don't need them to come straight from the comics. I don't need a one for one adaptation from the comics. So, from what I just read from your allegation, you're saying that Marvel was asking you to make something new. You didn't want to make something new. You wanted to make something based off of what was already in the comics. And they were like, yo, you being real difficult. Like, we're asking you, we're hiring you to make something new and different for our audience. And you're like, nah, I'm doing this for the fans. Hold on, bro. Did we ask you for that? Because all I'm saying is, if you told me X-Men 97 was going to give me new stories about the X-Men, I'm still showing up. It was never a deciding factor that in order to make X-Men great, it had to be hardcore, straight up stories from the comics. That was never a deal breaker for me. I just wanted the X-Men characters portrayed genuinely. And yes, I'm always in line for giving me something new. I'm always going to be here for giving me something original. Yeah, bro. I'm sorry. I can't rock with you on this one. I don't know which fans you was talking. You are kind of sounding like a fanboy. Just no, I can't rock with you on that one. Now, he alleged that the executives painted him as abusive when he declined to have the character of Jubilee make gang signs or paint the sky with plasmoids in the shape of a middle finger. Y'all fighting over Jubilee? All right. Okay. Now, DeMayo alleged that there was near criminal working conditions for VFX and animation artists at Marvel. People who worked on X-Men 97 were rapidly losing weight and having mental breakdowns. He experienced retaliation. Okay. Now, that is an allegation. And that is something that we've actually heard from multiple different outlets and sources before, because Marvel does have a reputation, whether it's valid or not. They have a reputation of overworking the VFX and animation people. So that, okay, all right, you might have something there. He's adding to that fuel. He alleged that he notified a producer on X-Men 97 that one of our leads is having a potentially exploitive sexual relationship with a PA. I'm assuming a production assistant. And the producer buried this report and informed the individual in question of DeMayo's complaint. Yikes. Okay, that sounds like an HR issue. Like, if you the showrunner and you saying that, hey, somebody on the team is having a potentially inappropriate relationship, and you go and trick and snitch off to that person that, hey, they telling on you, that I can see that being problematic. I don't like that. So that's an HR issue for sure. He alleged that the same producer repeatedly joked to the crew that he showed DeMayo's thirst traps on Instagram to his underage son. Why? What? Okay, it sounds like that producer needs some help. All right, we're gonna skip all this other stuff. Um, okay. When DeMayo requested contacting producers of RuPaul's Drag Race about promoting X-Men 97, He alleged that he was told by Marvel that they wouldn't want to alienate certain audiences. Ah, yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Marvel on that one. Um, Now here's the thing. Obviously, the X-Men were created to represent all forms of discrimination and people and groups that face that. But it's also, you know, it's a big umbrella that it catches, right? And here's the only argument that I would give against going to Drew Paul's, or RuPaul's Drag Race and all that. Obviously, that will placate towards the LGBTQ community, and that's fine. But you don't want other people to be like, oh, so X-Men 97 is just for the LGBTQ community. Okay, that's not for me. Versus, let's flip the script. Let's say it wasn't RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's say, hey, we want to have X-Men 97 promoted on BET. Oh, so X-Men 97 is only for black folks? Okay, cool. You're not talking to me. Let me go somewhere else. Or let's say that we push this to OWN, or I don't know, some all woman Lifetime, or something like that, some all female watching channel or show, The View. Let's say we promote it on The View. Oh, so this is only for women. So I understand that, yeah, you don't want to alienate all these groups, because you do want everybody, all groups, to come in, watch X-Men 97 and take a piece, because there are strong women, there are LGBTQ, there are black folks, there are all these elements. So I think I'm gonna side with the PR group on that one. Like, you don't want to pigeonhole the show into one thing, because it really does capture all of them. So I understand that. I understand that. DeMayo alleges that Marvel execs joked in front of him that they hired a young Wesley Snipes to write on Blade. And he said that this was one of the reasons why he wanted to make the video, because he wanted to show people that him and Wesley Snipes look nothing alike. Yikes. Okay, that's a little racist. That's a little racist, if that is true. DeMayo says that the last straw for him was when he arrived on production on the offices of Blade at Tyler Perry Studio in Atlanta and was told that someone needs to crack the whip around here. September 2022. He sent his concerns about what he saw as prejudicial conditions on the film to leadership at Marvel. And in return, he said, I was removed from the project Blade in the middle of moving to Atlanta for production, and then had my role on season 2 of X-Men aggressively marginalized. Yikes. Now, just in case, for some of you that don't understand the reference, being in Atlanta, which is a majority black area, and place where, slavery was rampant in the South, cracking a whip around here is it can have negative connotations. When you're in an all black area down in the South, cracking the whip will kind of come off as a reference from slavery. It can have that connotation. Now, if you said something like that in Wyoming, I highly doubt it would carry the same inference. But in Atlanta and the Tyler Perry studio, ah, it was a very, very poor choice of words. Very poor. And I'm just going to make the rough assumption that this came from a white executive at Marvel. It's not like they got that much diversity. Anyway, DeMayo says that he has the receipts and eyewitnesses to back up his claims. He would prefer to relay them to authorities at Marvel and Disney so that those responsible are able to receive what I was not, a full and fair investigation away. from the public eye. Now, that I would say is pretty commendable if that is the approach he wants to take. So, in other words, he wants Marvel to handle some of these allegations or people that probably said or did some of these offensive things, um, rather than putting all their laundry out there, right? Which he already kind of is doing. So he's not going to name no names, but it sounds like he's trying to at least give Marvel the opportunity to right these wrongs, alleged wrongs. Let me say that. So I don't know. I guess if we start hearing that certain people get fired for uncertain reasons, maybe this is connected. I don't know. We'll see. Now DeMayo's lawyer, okay, is also here, and he filed a lawsuit against Marvel on Tuesday, seeking to invalidate the non-disparagement provision in DeMayo's separation agreement, or in the NDA. So he said here that information about unlawful acts in the workplace, such as harassment or discrimination, if he can get rid of that, if he can find an exception to the NDA, he's basically saying that this violates California law. So the NDA should not block anybody from talking about potential illegal behavior or unlawful behavior. Because right now, if Beau DeMayo says certain things, Marvel could sue him based off of the NDA that he signed. So it sounds like his lawyer is like, yo, we need to get rid of that, because if some unlawful things actually did happen, this NDA should not block his client from being able to talk about it. And that is what we have so far about Beau DeMayo versus Marvel. Woo, man, this is getting messy. I mean, they not even in court. Like I would have thought that they would have at least, had a settlement, chilled out, whatever. But nah, that ain't what happening right now. Like they don't like each other. They don't like each other. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I probably should have. But this is not the first time DeMayo has been removed from a project with similar allegations. I didn't do a lot of research into it, but I've heard, so take it with a grain of salt, I've heard that he was also reprimanded for sexual misconduct or allegations on The Witcher, when he was on The Witcher. So a man's got a reputation. Now, what's crazy here is that it sounds like both people are messy. Marvel has had a bad reputation with VFX artists, and who knows what other negative things happen, there. But it sounds like Beau DeMayo got a rap too. It looked like he got a whole rap sheet too. I don't know what to make of this. To me, it sounds like two toxic creative people got together, and it's just messy. It's messy, nasty, messy, messed up. Anyway, guys, what do y'all think about this Marvel drama? How do you feel about Beau DeMayo's allegations against Marvel? Do you believe him? Do you side with him? Are you team Beau? Are you team Marvel? Are you team, I don't know, get me away from all this nonsense? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.